Hello everyone! So in my last video, in my intro video, I talked about how this class is going to be a challenge. It's going to be really hard and really intimidating for a lot of you. For all of you, actually. So I want to try something different. I'm going to show you what you need to know because stats learning is different. In your content classes, a lot of times you can read about it and you can practice it and you're like, I got this. And you don't have to spend a lot of mental effort. It's not that you don't try in those classes, but the mental effort is very different. It's in your comfort zone. You don't have to take notes. You don't have all of these cheat sheets and all of these references that you're constantly going back to. That's not the case in stats. And I say that as equally to those of you who are REM students as not REM students. Those of you who think you're math people versus you don't think you're a math person. It doesn't matter. Everybody has to go through the process, struggle through it, figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So I'm going to give you some hints, and I think I'm going to give you a tool. And I think it's really going to help a lot of you. It's a little silly, but try it. Because based on all of my years teaching stats, this is the thing I'm constantly going back to. The students who come to me and they're struggling, the first thing I say is, well, where's your cheat sheet? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, nobody remembers how to go through all of the steps in SPSS and to figure out what tables they need. And yeah, I do because I do it all the time. But the first few times, I have cheat sheets in my cabinet over here from ever ago. And when I still have them for especially SEM and IRT. I go back to my cheat sheets and I look at, okay, right, this table, this number, this is the range, this is what it means. So that's what we're going to work on today. Okay. So for every analysis, here is your guideline, and this is posted next to this video. So you need to know, what does it do? It doesn't matter if we're talking about a correlation, a chi-square, a one-way ANOVA, a factorial ANOVA, a simple regression, a multiple regression, whatever the analysis is, this is where you start. What's it do? So describe what it does. Draw pictures. I'm very visual. I try to give you picture representations. What are the key words associated? Is it association? Is it relationship? Is it difference? What type of variables do they use? Is there a dependent and an independent variable? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And then what hypothesis are they testing? Is that testing? And then we're going to have to think about, how do I actually do it? And this is very step by step, from open SPSS to click on the analysis heading. What test is it? Which one do I pick? What from there, when I have this tab, what is checked? Then I go to this tab, what do I check? What variables go where? All of those things go in the step by step. This is your cheat sheet. And I mean, this is something that you go back to every single time you run a one-way ANOVA. You have it all right here. And then thinking about, once I click all the boxes, I get all this output. You don't need it all. I'll show you what tables you need and what tables you need to go somewhere else for. So you need to say, what tables do I need and where do I find them? And then we get into, what does it actually mean? So this is quite literally, how do I get it to work in SPSS to get the tables that I need? And here's where we start to interpret it. So now we're looking at each table and what numbers do I need within the table? And then, what do the numbers mean? So is it a range? Is it a cutoff value? All kinds of different things that we're going to be interpreting. Then you need to think about, how do I write about it? So I'm going to give you writing examples throughout the entire course, very step by step, all APA. This is the formal way that we write it. And then, of course, thinking about, in an article, this would be the discussion section when we get into the interpret to real life. So if we find a gender difference in anxiety for statistics, what does that mean in real life for the instructor? Or for you, if you might be in a certain group or another? That means that you might be more susceptible to it. Maybe, maybe not. There's still ranges. This is statistics. Nothing is certain. Okay, So that's what you need to know. If you want to stop the video right here, you can. But I'm going to tell you about a tool. So you need 2 pieces of paper. You can have colored paper if you would like. And we're going to make a foldable. So I was a middle school science teacher, and these are my favorite things to make because they're interactive. They help you organize your thinking and thinking about where to take notes, and then you have the thing to go back to all the time. So we're going to be creating this. So for each analysis, I recommend creating one of these. This is a half page. I'm going to show you how to do it with a full page. You can cut it in half if you want. So you need 2 pieces of paper, and you need a stapler, and you need a marker. So we're going to take our 2 pieces of paper, and you're going to give about, 3/4 of an inch of a fold between them. So 3/4 of an inch, and then you'll see it down here as well. So within this, then I'm just going to fold it over. And when you look on the back side, you will see all of our different tabs, all of our different layers. So you're going to fold it over, make them fairly even. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And then fold it, crease it all the way through, and then staple it. There we go. If you want to keep it full, so for some of the bigger analysis, like chi-square would probably be a full one, factorial, ANOVA, definitely multiple regression, you're going to want the full pages. Otherwise, you can quite literally just cut it in half and make 2 of these for some of the smaller ones, like the correlation and the simple regression, those refreshers, a t-test if you want to use this for the intro stats weeks to go through that. So now you're going to just write whatever your analysis name is. I like drawing lines. So we'll write analysis at the head, and then I just drew lines across the side. And the top one is going to be, what does it do? The middle one is, how do I do it? And then the last one, of course, is going to be, what does it mean? All right, so at this point, we have our foldable created. And then what we get to do is for the what does it do, we just flip open that tab. We can take all of our notes within here. So you flip it open, fold it over, flip them open, fold them over. So then we have our nice foldable. What does it do? That's where I'm going to go back to my Word doc. And I'm going to write in here, what does it do? Like, describe it. What are the keywords? What variables? DV, IV, hypothesis used. Then I'm going to flip open the next tab. And I might even print the step-by-step from one of the written instructions. I might write it myself. I might include pictures of tables. Whatever works for you, draw pictures of tables that you know what you're looking for. And then what does it mean? This is the longest one. Here's where I would quite literally print off one of the annotated outputs, whether you annotate it yourself or you take one that I've done for you, cut it apart and put it here. And that way you have all of the information that you need right here. You can include an example write-up. You can include hints on the interpretation, although those really are going to be very specific based on the problem and the finding. But these 3, for sure, you could even cut them apart, draw pictures, everything would be here. And that way you have in one place everything that you need for a multiple regression. You just look for this foldable, you grab it, you have all your instructions, and you're good to go. So I really encourage you to do something like this. It doesn't have to be the fun foldable, but come on, these things are fun. If you do make a foldable, I would love to see pictures of them. But the biggest thing is thinking about this course as, what do I need to know? How do I organize the information? How do I study for all of the exams and everything? I promise you, that if you do this, you will have everything that you need for the exams.